Who's inspired by that? Okay, good. I was just so excited. I was like, I don't want to speak anymore. I thought we should leave it at that. That was great. Thanks, Miles. Obviously today has been 5 hours of pounding information into your brain, right? Who's a bit tired? Come on, admit it. Yeah, we're all a bit tired, aren't we? But we're down to the last 15 minutes, okay? So this last 15 minutes, let's make it count, all right? What I observe over the years is that I really love following and admire great people. And there's a lot of great people in this room right now. I follow great chiropractors. I want to emulate them. I want to learn from them. And I know I can call them up if I ever ran into trouble. And those great chiropractors are different than just the good chiropractors. Don't you agree? There's a difference. And when I look at them, I wanted to know what makes them great. And is it because they have superhuman powers? Maybe. But I think that there's certain things that they do in their lifetime that made them great. It's not the one thing, but it's several different things, little step at a time. When I was a kid, I loved collecting comic books. How many collected comic books when you were a kid? I actually still have them. I still have like 2 boxes of comic books back in Canada. It's somewhere in my parents' basement somewhere, and I'm sure it's worth $1 million by the time I give it to my kids. All right? But my favorite character, like Malcolm, was always been Batman. What I like about Batman, though, is this. Because Batman was human. He didn't have like absolutely amazing superpower. He had amazing tools. He was a billionaire. That was cool. But he had all the tools in the world that he can utilize to fight evil. That's what I love about him. Because he could get killed, right? Superman never dies. Wonder Woman, well, Wonder Woman's Wonder Woman, right? But Batman, you could really physically kill him. And that's what I love about him. Because we are all humans with a little bit of special human power. So I thought in today's talk is that I'll focus on the 5 key principles that makes us superheroes. What are some 5 distinct things that superheroes all have in common that us chiropractors, CAs, students, people who are not even just lay people in the room can make themselves achieve greater things? Would you like to know those 5 things? Okay, good. Number 1, craft your persona. Persona is who you are. Every superhero has something distinct about them. Superman has a cape and an S on their chest. Wonder Woman has a great uniform, right? Batman has a great uniform. I love his uniform. But they all have a persona about them. They have a character about them. Each one of you have a character that you personify, whether you know it consciously or unconsciously, to your patients. My suggestion to you is that you consciously put in the effort to make sure that your patients get you as a person the way you want it to be. How many of you have ever heard of the Wellness Guys? Just so that show of hands. Okay, great. Fantastic. Wellness Guys is I started about just less than a year ago. It's 3 guys. We've been doing podcasts every single week on health and wellness. Because our mission, it's the same with what Miles is to spread the word of health and wellness to the public. And we got to number 1 in Australia for one reason, is because we intentionally left chiropractic out of it. Why? Because people have a perception of what chiropractic is. Don't you agree? When you tell them I'm a chiropractor, they are like, oh, a backcracker, right? They have this perception. The Wellness Guys is about what? Guys on wellness. But guess what? We underlay information of chiropractic and the philosophy of chiropractic in each one of our episodes. I have more patients, and I know and all chiropractors across Australia are getting more patients just from our podcast wondering, I just listened to you guys for several weeks and I go, I just want to know what this chiropractic thing is about. Can you tell me, can you refer me to a chiropractor? I'm in Brisbane. I'm in wherever. Because the impact there is not about selling chiropractic now. It's about just telling people our philosophy. That changes people. Now, if you know, I don't know if anybody knows Brett and Damien, but Brett, he crafts a persona. We call him the paleo guy, right? Because he loves paleo. He's like the caveman of the group. He wears his Vibrams to practice. He lives in the Adelaide Hills. He wouldn't wear a suit. That's his persona. He's the caveman. He works on a PC, right? So he's caveman. No offense, guys. Whereas Damien, if anybody knows Damien in the room, he's a rock star type of character, right? He's like the star of the group. He shows up late for our podcast all the time, But when he comes to perform, he's there. He's ready to rock. But he's always late. He's always meeting, greeting people all the time. He's the rock star. My persona in the group it's a little bit different, right? My persona here, most people's perception is I'm perfect, or I'm this goody two-shoe. I didn't do nothing wrong, right? And I always wear this suit. I'm always clean cut. That's the persona that is perceived by a lot of people. But do you think that's consciously put out there for a reason, or do you think I just unconsciously just randomly chose that, or people just think of me that way? No, it's a perception that I intentionally crafted within that particular realm in chiropractic practice. We all have a persona, but that's naturally me, so therefore that's what I craft. You know how hard it is trying to be perfect? It's pretty tough. But what I'm saying to you, all of you have a persona, character within yourself, a superpower, uniform, the way you dress. Olivia talked about that at the beginning, right? There's certain uniform that you carry, that you have a certain characteristic. Whether you're a CA, the way you emulate yourself in front of your clients, people know you're the friendly one. People know you're the person who chats a lot, who can talk to the clients. They know who you are. You just got to come out with that and just let that person be. Just be you. So that's number one. Number two, every superhero has a protector. Now, the protector doesn't have to be superhuman. I mean, the only protector that I know, like the mentor that I know actually has superhuman powers is Yoda, right? Yoda has superhuman powers. But, Batman's mentor, I believe, was Alfred. Normal human being. Spider-Man had his uncle with great powers. You have great responsibilities. Every superhero always has a mentor that guides them, that leads them to the right path. But that mentor, that coach, is more for here. I encourage you to search for mentors and coaches in your life. It doesn't have to be a chiropractic coach. It doesn't have to be whether you're CA, you still should have a coach. Someone to guide you, someone you can talk to, someone you can actually relate information with. Say, I'm stuck in a bind. Can you help me out? I've been working a lot with Jeff Spencer at the moment. For some of you might know, Jeff Spencer is the chiropractor for Lance Armstrong through the 7 Tour de France wins and 40 other Olympians and world champions. Why did I choose him to work with him? Well, if he can get Lance to win 7 Tour de France, I want to work with the best. But in turn, just working with him the last couple months, I found something within his business that he wasn't working well. And now I'm mentoring him on certain aspects of his business. It works both ways. See, mentorship is so important. And the coaches in the room, you know how important that is. You need to find someone because you don't have all the answers. You need to find someone who you like to be, right? Remember, correct? I can't remember who actually said that, but you need to be that person. Who do you want to become? And find that person you want to become and ask them to be your mentor. Number 3, you got to develop your proficiency. A snail is not going to go in a race. That's not what their strengths are, right? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You got to find that out. We're not strong at everything. We can't be. But you're strong at something. And you've done it for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life. That you're better than anybody else in the room. You've got to find what that is. But you've got to manage your weaknesses as well. You can't ignore them. But you've got to manage them. Can you imagine Superman sitting in a bar, sitting down and talking to the bartender and going, or talking to Batman or Spider-Man, going, damn this kryptonite. It sucks. I can't fight the world because it's damn kryptonite. No, superheroes don't focus on the weaknesses. They focus on the strengths. That's what we got to find. What are your strengths? Is it your ability to talk? Is it your ability to relate to people? What are your strengths as a CA? Can you create better value people? Can you connect with people on a one-on-one basis? Can you handle multiple tasks? My strengths as writing skills are absolutely horrid, right? I can't write for crap, so therefore I have an assistant to write for me, right? So that people can actually read my notes later on. That's what it takes. You want to streamline everything in your life and your business to make sure that you have to play to your strengths. Number 4, we focused a lot on this already. Malcolm's mentioned it. Several people mentioned it. What I'll say about this is this. Focusing on purpose is about focusing on your passion. Sometimes your purpose is small. Every superhero started small. Spider-Man started with a purpose of just basically being cool with his new spider senses, right? Be able to climb walls and jump, and he didn't stop the robber from killing, who let him escape and killed his uncle. That changed everything. Batman's original purpose was just to get revenge for who killed his parents. Our vision can be small at the beginning, but we evolve and change. My purpose in the last 4 years have been my kids. I took time away from practice. I only practice 2 days a week because I want to spend more time with my kids right now because they're still at home. I want to make an impact on them because I know that if I can be there for the first 4 to 5 years of their life, they can have bigger impact in their life, and then they can have bigger impact to others. Purpose change all the time, but you got to focus and expand on that purpose. Number 5 is commit to persistence. Rachel said it best at the beginning when she talked about one step at a time. You got to resist that human nature that makes you human. That lizard part of your brain that sits back here that tells you, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't step into fear. Pull back. Just be comfortable. I really are happy to see the students that stepped up here to do Talk the Tick because it took courage. It takes courage to be on this stage. I commend them. Give them a round of applause for just being on here. And I know that they're going to be better speakers as the years go on because they're going to learn from this particular platform and then move on to the next. Olivia challenged us at the beginning of today about why not you get out there to the public to talk about chiropractic? Why not? What's stopping you? Are you afraid of what people think of us? If you don't want to talk about chiropractic, don't. Talk about health. People get it. The world needs us right now. They need to hear your strengths, your ability to communicate that message. Miles, great for the stats. I don't need to put stats up because you know that they need you. They're dying. And every one of you in this room can change that. But we have this human blueprint, that DNA that holds us back to thinking that, we're not worthy enough. I say fight that. Forget your DNA. Be the superhero that you know. More importantly, create the legacy that you deserve. This profession stands on the shoulders of giants that created it. I remember meeting when I was a student the last chiropractor that was ever jailed. I brought him in to speak when I was the president of WCCS into Toronto to speak to the students. The last 2 chiropractors were ever jailed. We got to remember that person was jailed in 1975, the year I was born. 1975. So less than 40 years ago, people were put into jail for what we do now. Don't take that for granted. You've been given a right. You've given a strength. You might have all the skills and the talent in the world, but you got to reach the people, and you got to touch their life, their heart. You got to change. It's your time. Thank you.